to you an all-ladies panel, and I start with Ms. Juliet Kavetuna, the Deputy Minister in the Ministry of Youth, National Service, Sport and Culture. Good evening, ma'am. Welcome to Talk with the Nation.
Good evening, Hilda. Good evening, Namibia.
Great to have you. Secondly, I'd like to introduce to you Madam Nangula Shiavale, who is a research associate at the Institute of Public Policy and Research, also lead researcher on the 2014 Election Watch project. Quite a mouthful there, Nangula, and welcome to Talk with the Nation.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Last but not least, I'd like to introduce to you Ms. Hilda Nakakua, the Deputy Director, the Voter Education and Democracy Building at the Electoral Commission of Namibia. Good evening, ma'am, and welcome to Talk with the Nation.
Good evening, Hilda, and good evening, Namibia. I'm happy to be here.
Very good. I'll start with you, Honourable Deputy Minister, and ask you the question. Your ministry specifically deals with youth matters in this country. What do you consider the role of the youth regards citizenship and democracy building?
Yeah, thank you very much, Hilda, for the question. I think the young people are the drivers of change. They are very essential in terms of development and the forthgoing of any country's development and democracy. They are the breakers and builders. So their votes, their participations, their energy is what is needed in order for this country to move forward.
Do they understand that this is their responsibility, Nangula? I'd like to hear from a research perspective. You've done this research extensively. The minister says that they have a key role, they are a change agent. Do they understand that this is the responsibility and the role that they have to fulfill?
Well, I certainly hope so, and I think that they do. As you mentioned earlier, the youth make up a huge proportion of the population, and in the November 2014 elections, 50% of the voting population aged 18 through 35 will be represented. And so I think it is very important, and young people are becoming more engaged, although statistics do show that they are less inclined to discuss politics, to have an interest in public affairs. And across the region and globally, there are declining trends in terms of a youth vote.
Mrs. Nakakua, is that because we don't do something deliberate to engage them? Is it because politics is just not interesting to them? Is it because they don't have an appeal or a sympathy or an empathy or a synergy with the issues that are at play? And that's why they just stay away from issues such as voter registration and voting, and finally then?
I think it's quite the, the buffet of all. One part, maybe we don't involve them as they should want us to do. And on the other hand, it could be that some of them don't see the need, maybe because of the situations they are in, they find themselves. I think, from our side, Electoral Commission of Namibia, we have the will to involve the youth, but sometimes we don't have the means. And youth, if they have to come on board, somebody have to, ask them to come. They should feel that they are welcome to participate. I think we have both factors that play a role for youth not to participate as we would want to.